Hello, greetings from Colorado Springs. My name is Lance Kohler, Managing Broker, Cornerstone Real Estate Team. Today I'd like to talk to you about a maintenance budget for your rental property. Now, you've heard me talk in previous videos about looking at your rental property or your investment property as a business. You should treat it like a business. One of the things every business should have is a budget. So we recommend that you set up a budget for your rental property, and as you collect income for that rental property and you have expenses for that rental property, you're staying within the bounds of your budget. So one of your budget items should be general maintenance and capital expenditures. So in Colorado Springs, we see anywhere from about 5% to 15% of rent income is in general maintenance and capital expenditures per year. So some people will set that aside in a reserve account for the, as part of their budget items. Some set aside like 1% of the home value, or maybe $1 per square foot annually. But whatever measurement you're using, the important part is that you're setting money aside so that when you have large expenses, furnace or garage door, or as items break, you have the funds set aside to maintain those items or replace them. And this is the 5 to 15%. That's kind of a broad range perhaps, but that's dependent on age and condition. Obviously, if your home is 2 years old, some of those things you're not going to spend a lot of money on capital expenses, appliances, furnace, hot water heater, etc. So we also recommend that you have an emergency fund for unforeseen expenses. So we recommend to all our owners that you set something aside so you have some emergency funds to fall back onto, and you should review your landlord insurance or your insurance policy for your rental property, because some of that may apply to damages. If hailstorm comes to mind, because we have those every couple years where they impact, and so insurance is a big factor in that, with replacing roofs or windows or decking and siding in some cases. So look at those, consider that into your budget item as well. So on the maintenance budget, you should also include preventive maintenance or periodic maintenance, and some of the examples we'll give you for that are like cleaning gutters. If you live in an older neighborhood where you have mature trees, your gutters are probably going to get clogged with leaves or pine needles, and so you need to have some funds set aside once a year to have those gutters cleaned. Sprinkler systems. If you have a sprinkler system, most homes in Colorado Springs do, you need to have that winterized in the fall. We're in the process of doing that right now. It's October, and started up in the spring. And it would help if you had some repairs set aside, because that's something that needs continual maintenance. Like the sprinkler heads don't last forever, so they may last a long time, 5 years, 10 years, but at some point you're going to have to replace some of those, and you can have money set aside for those. Furnace inspection as a periodic maintenance, your furnace inspection and cleaning, and your hot water heater inspection. So a lot of times the ones that we set up, you can have those done both at the same time. A lot of places, not everywhere in Colorado Springs, but a lot of places are gas powered. So natural gas for your furnace, natural gas for your hot water heater, so we can have those inspected, checked, all at the same time. It's not only a safety issue, but it's a maintenance issue, right? So we want to extend the lifetime expectancy of that appliance or that mechanical. Caulking tubs, caulking showers. Again, that's just something that needs to be done periodically. Exterior painting, staining decks. Like our winters we get a fair amount of snow. Our summers we get a lot of sun, and so a deck, especially a wooden deck outside, takes a lot of abuse just from the elements. And so keeping that stained extends the lifetime of that asset. So we're going to put up a slide here, a maintenance budget, just an example way. So the examples I give are like a hot water heater. Expected lifetime value or lifetime expectancy of that is 10 years. If your hot water heater is 5 years old and it costs $3,000 to get a new one, you got 5 years to set aside funds to buy that new hot water heater. So you should set aside in your reserve account $600 a year. Same thing with your HVAC. Say your HVAC, as an example, is 20, life expectancy is 20 years. Your furnace and AC is what I'm talking about. Life expectancy is 20 years. It's 10 years old. it costs $8,000 to get a new one. So you want to set aside $800 per year into a reserve account so that at the time where it reaches its life expectancy, you're prepared to replace that. And in other examples, you should budget for flooring, cabinets, paint, etc. Anytime you're looking at upgrades or improvements. Sometimes we have owners that, hey, I'm going to rent this out. I'm either going to move back or I'm going to sell it in 5 years. So at that 5-year mark, you could plan, budget to set aside funds because there are going to be expenses that you're going to have to get that house ready for sale. And so you should consider those and plan for those. I hope this was helpful. Make it a great day.